No. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody.
Lamrim ngela ni diwa sang yo ni diwa ti chozola tine tata ndume hakuma sos kas mandina ni diwa tinga matia chazas diwa matia chuba tonya jaro ches.
I thought to ask you 3 questions first before I start teaching the Lamrim class. But if you think the questions are inappropriate, so we can just leave it. But I thought just to first ask you 3 questions.
Ne tuate ngaso tsoma sendo la shimando ba dengando la dewamando bijin sekweza ngaso tsoma sambo dondore ni shindo yo mares ne ngaso tsoma dewando yo res dengando yo mares ti karcheni.
So the first question is that we all, want to be alive, and we don't want to die, right? We don't want to be dead, and also we all like to be happy, but we don't want to suffer. So why do you think that is the case?
We don't want to die. Why?
Why do we want to be alive, and why do we want to be happy and not, be dead or die and suffer?
Soma shendo yo mare ra sambo jerembo dendo yo ra ane diwando yo ra dingondo yo mare karchene.
Why is that? You think that we want to live and we want to live for a long time and don't want to die and want to be happy and not suffer?
Because it's not part of ourselves. There's something inside that said to you, I want to be happy and I want to live, and it's like an inner initiative. I don't know if it's the word, but it's something arising inside you. Like when you suffer, there's something in your mind that says to you, this is not correct. Like this is not how it is. I don't know. I just.
Tsuki nanglola da kasa. Sonam dan double lepgiro na dewa dugure ani dungul kasi dungul nyongna digimare di susunangla yore
ne jimbati sa.
What do the others think?
For me, I think because there is a future life. If there is no future life, then when I suffered, then I will feel I don't need to stand for that suffer. I don't need to tolerate. But because there is future life, so I think the reason for me now I want to leave is because I want a better rebirth for the next life. So that's why I need to work harder for the future. Otherwise, if there is no future life, then I don't need to suffer. For me, like, of course we suffer like from time to time, but if there is no future, then you will feel like when you are in a very big pain, then you might want to kill yourself.
And then it's just gone.
Yeah,
finished.
Everything finished. Yeah.
Consigo sana kiwachima yutsang ine kasa dewa kasa
Dewando
dugure kesi maumpa kiwachima mena dene tanarang susu nyong kasa dungul nyongna yang susu rangshi gyang digare dene dungul sagarwa ina yang kiwachima yutsang da yeah dungul dugyo mare dewa dugure diranda boda sigido
ane ta ngaso kiwachima kilenkeche tandati nojeche kasi kiachima kemalenke aso kiachima kemalenke moboyora tisogo chiba shindo mara sendo res diwando re dingando mares tiso karinas tanda koshiana chukelenke kiachima kelenke la ta kiachima kemalenke chukemelenke tiso yo chuchoni kemalenke tiso yo diwando la dingando mares shindo mara sembo dendo res.
So your answer was, of course, from the point of view, that accepting the idea that there are future lives. But Geshe says that the same applies. I mean, not wanting suffering and wishing for happiness and living a long life or being alive also applies to those people, and there are many who don't accept future lives. So why do you think is that?
So.
Cool.
I think so. There are two parts, right? Why don't we want to suffer? Because suffering feels bad.
Mm.
It just feels bad, and I want to go away as far as possible from suffering. And why do I want to live a long life? Even or especially when I'm suffering, I think it is because you still have the imagination that you can be free from suffering.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to live longer so that I can someday reach a place where I'm free from suffering.
Mm. Even if there's only just one life in the future.
Yes.
Yeah. Hisi kongsi du sana susu kesi susu dungan yongna di da rangshinki ya di mogo ra tsawa lepkido. Ini kesi misu ina tsi chikbo kelen giyona yang da dong tsi ringbo goguyo resena kaisena tanda dungan yongya yang maung pala cd nanglola maung pala yang dungan me pazo tapshi reba yores sigido
which lendu so tanda yunjo reba yores.
Do you have another objection or question?
No.
Nga sana tanda nga so shindo bato ne shimondo bato ne sendo ba devando ba dengamando ba jiora ti tsoma susu nga zani nga za tilarale de yores nga za tilarale nga za sa chimbo yesozo susu nga za sa chimbo yesozo nga shindo go mare devando gores tu sa su jiora nangati nga za tires.
So in my opinion, what it all boils down to, there's this wish to live a long life and wanting to avoid suffering, all has to do or boils down to the sense of I, and cherishing oneself so much. That's what it comes down to, why we want to avoid suffering and want to be happy, because we cherish ourselves so.
Nga zati sa chimbo yesozo ne dingwamodo dianda yana nga zati ka yore zene yo nga so sauliji tonde yo tetis kapo yores.
But if we investigate and clearly and and want to find out where the self actually is, kabayore karere
nga ze tato se nga kawayore nga sure zete yo tis kapo yores.
Yeah, if you want to investigate where this I is, and if you want to describe it more, deeply, then it's hard to explain or hard to find pinpoints, to something that is the I.
Pena nganda bachina nga tsiong chare tregra. Ta nga tsiong cha kawayore. Tsiong cha sure ze yonjo sauli chi tonti yo tili khare ndures.
Tili?
Kali khare ndures. Pena nga sure zera. Nga tsiong chare lara. Tsiong cha kawayore lara. Yo tsiong cha de sure ze. Tsiong cha kawayore zene. Yo pasalu ten zabu chi tonti that kali khare ndures.
I mean, we say, or I can say, I am Tsewang Kyap. But if we then ask further and investigate more, where is this Tsewang Kyap? What is that Tsewang Kyap? And if you analyze further and go more deeply, then it becomes more and more harder to come up with with an answer.
Aneta ngaso notional nga da zena ne dame ba za tikon pa saulu tone ani saulu dame pangula saulu tone ani suzukawa yeme jene zache tone tato zaze
Kase dame kola kase pa
ta tikol shete yo dame kol kesen tugures da za ka dame ba zen sonyora ne dame ba tikol pa kesen tugures.
So that all very much relates to this idea that we hear a lot about in Buddhism about selflessness, we have the self on the one hand side, but then also we speak about selflessness, so that's very much related to that.
And then walk to Anito, this and Tanda Conton Dabores, Yonjo, Mamachi Shira. Ni chu sheba dons, Chusun Doyon, Guba Kongi Cheres, Tangadobanima, Kozol Keshashera, Kozo Keshanyanka Legra, Garjani letters. Kozo Garjani the letters. Garjani Keshashers.
So the second question is, why is it that basically why did we come together here? Why is it that I'm teaching you, and why is it that you come to receive the teachings?
The Chubanda was the Naza Suzuki Cheddar. Chozo Susu Cheddar, Dewandoba, Bengamondoa is also Ningikejanda shed the Chush Shesandrona, Susu Luciera to Pento, Yore Tene, Monchiati Yongeres. Now Shiati, Naro Suzuki Cheddar. Choroso Yo Suzuki Cheddar. Naza, Naso Chat Somati to Suzuki Cheddar de Yores.
Kang yang chushi kang la kang kichiro pento
ngaro chuzul ma chushate ngaro chedere chusu tileate chorosu suzuki chederes.
So the reason that you came here to receive the teachings has to do with the intention that you want to benefit from it, and likewise I'm giving the teachings also with the thought in mind that that I want to benefit myself.
Do
you think like this? Do you think like that you came here for your sake, in order because you think that's of benefit to you? Do you think that you came here for your own sake, or did you come here for someone else? Nika.
First, I need to increase my capability, right? Yeah, I need to find a way, and I need to achieve that. Achieve to understand Dharma, and then hopefully then I can help and share the wisdom of Buddhism to others. Yeah.
Cambodia tsayangada chu 장야 기치로 렉송와 아니 이네 근long 양가에서나 수수 담보 주야 보장 이네 마음발라 주야 보하고네 되네 미션바 펜도 주야 기치로레
로제니가 기체들에서 다 저저 사울은 크레스 바레스 나 시야테 나가로 체들라서라 저저 가르체니 대소엘 나 추시야테 나로 기체들라라 저저 가르치니 수수기 체들에네 딘디 좋은 코스에
I just thought that I just said to you that I'm teaching I'm really giving these teachings for my own benefit, or because I think it's beneficial to me. Did some doubts occur in your mind when I said this?
No,
Dear Rangshire.
나가로 체도 이미 진사카르라선 나가로 대완도바 등어먼도바 신도바 신문도바 선도바 등들에서 등들에서 나가로 기아 처마켈랭케에서 나로 사침보에서 니춘 디즈셰 젠라네 펜토텐트 촌투서 나 아니 젠라 페톤두그레라 니 수수요네 디바가 레체모고아토네 다 니지도 정식의 사케와라 디즈 펜토 펜토 요사레테네 난지 디체다네 셰데가 요라스
야 주시야라 테니 그냥 딕바미기 리마치기 Sonam
나 주시야다 나로 체더라라서라 디카르전 나로 사와침보니 소조 나 주시가 나로 사와침 카르전 나 레카 좀보스 젠도 레카 데차트 젠도 메 네키와 치마라네 야부시 젠도요 네소노 젠도 메 아니 친달라요 아니 jela no kinkechu mache jela totuna yabure pematona neche mudu ke chege zane ngaro za chimbo yesoza kiwa chamato ne ngaro kanga manyo ato ne si somal tinte yesoza tikishege yores.
Yeah, so the reason that why I said that I give the teachings for my own sake is also related with this thought, this notion that I cherish myself, but I think that I do accept future lives, and the reason why I give these teachings is also with a thought in mind, to have a good rebirth in the next time around in the future, and also by giving teachings I hope to be of benefit. I hope this will benefit you. And by doing so, I will, because of this cherishing attitude, I hope to create some good karma and, avoid negative karma, so that, the positive actions that I'm doing, in this case by giving teachings, that I have a positive result in the future.
Yeah.
For me personally, I see also another benefit of this. Like if I'm raising my own awareness and then I'm teaching others, that is raising the awareness of more and more people in the world. So that's creating a better world also for myself to live in.
Kusigiru sana kesi kurang misambala lai sungchu karme lok kamel nangna in the susurang ki da kaisa tawa ripa da kaya kuyangwa da pen kuyangwa chagre ra susurang pentok chigure sana yang misamba pentok chigure ne chietangki da zamulingla da pentok chietangki chito zamulingla
chito la roje somal pentok
자상나 펜톡 지게레스.
네타 tewa sambati car tona gala mena magaja jo. Asu choro yapure choro sheo chere tindi mombulana garra choro de chare ndu mundo cho mapere zemara kamara lana gagmara ra. The garcheneres.
Okay, then the last question is about praise and blame, as it were. If why is it the case that we all like to be praised, but why is it the case that we don't like to be blamed and if be accused? If someone accuses us to be a thief or being bad and this and that, why don't we like that? Why don't we like that, but like to be praised?
Because we want to be loved.
That's Mishambaki Tsewa. Dugure.
Jimbak Tsewang Kyap.
Jitang Mishamba Susurang la tupa turatang na. Dini ngata gaba chigura. Di Mishamba ki Tsewa rang dabo dabo insare. Mishamba ki Tsewa.
Mishamba meba chena. Gagmara. Di Tsewa meba tawre.
Is it then the case when someone else blames us or accuses us that means they don't love us?
No. It means that the fear that you won't be loved appears, so that's why you don't like it, because you're afraid that they are not going to like you. But if they praise you, then it's like, I don't say that this is true. I mean, it's just a mechanism I can recognize in myself. When others praise me, I just feel, oh, okay, she likes me. Oh, he likes me. And when it's not, it's like, maybe, I don't know, maybe I did something wrong, maybe I don't like him anymore. He doesn't like me anymore. Like this.
Then kon ki samsu dire, she kesi ra mishamba su kon la turatana o kon gaboti ra mishamba su kon la gaboti sare. In kesi mishamba kon la meratangna. Kon de shigido. Mishamba kon la gaboti samares. Shigido.
Penata choro gege chigi choro kora lajo yabu machera pena lajo yabu mache kyoba yabu machena ni misamba zombu chege kora ni kyoba yabu che gore ne lajo yabu che gore zane sheshe tanjiora tindi che kaza chorolo tsawa kanti legres.
How would you feel if, say you're a student and you don't study very well, you don't make effort, and then with your teacher corrects you, I mean admonishes you, but with a good intention? How would you feel about that?
So it depends. I know the teacher or I don't know the teacher. If I know the teacher and I know that his intentions are always good, then I won't mind that he blames me or he's hard on me. But if I don't know or I don't always trust this teacher, then fear appears because I cannot know how his reaction would be. You know.
Kesi ko ki gegen da yapo moshena kundang zampo yena hako yaje ganta ba hako na tene kia mare gegen susurang la mera tang de kanga yapo lo po chungshi lamna kia mare ine kesi ko ki gegen yapo mashena ngomashena kongi kundang ne kare dame mahama kona tene des nisikagare
단당에 kon tiwasan soma te sa donation 수수 자와 침보에서 나자 자 침보에서 soma tel 트위터 두산 나자
but
tiwasan가
yeah
kon tiwasan가 되라 soma 되나 수수 나자 나자 침보에서 아니 티레스 또나 가도 메나마가데 수수 나자 침보에서 아니 딜레게요레스 tiwasan가 두산 나자 tel 트위터레스.
But in any case, so all these three questions that I asked you now, they all relate to this, this sense of I, and this self-cherishing attitude. And that's why, for example, we don't like to be blamed, but like to be praised and so forth. So all these questions, boil down to that.
Is this also related, because we talk about the I, like the ego, is it also related to attachment? All of these questions?
Tiwa tangma di kasa duchak dang dewa yorbe so nga kola kechashi
suzu nga chiba ndosha ton dra yores
suzu rangla duchak
ronyela chapa za jora te don dra yores.
Yes, related to this to attachment to the I or to the self.
ndosha za tela jela chavin ndosha suzu ronyela chavin ndosha jora te donan ndosha suzu ronyela chavi
I mean, generally, there are these two types of attachment. You could say attachment to others, other things or other people, but here in particular, we talk about this attachment to the self, the I. Yeah.
I missed the first question.
Tiwa Tambo? So that was the question was why is it the case that we want to be alive and have a long life and want to be happy, rather than suffer and die or be dead. Yeah, that was the first question. Thank you.
Gela earlier mentioned the reason he keep us teach is because he thinks it's beneficial to him. And is he saying he said it's also like a self-cherish attitude. So is he saying he shouldn't have that stuff?
Oh, okay. This is not again sungsosana. Genla de ring sungche na dila kasa susurang ki chizen kan chizen rali ra kan pentok ji ki chiro chu shigura ani tibal karesena di kunlong mena yaksare kunlong mepazogre sigiruwe kunlong yapodo yapomenu
that nga chin za kelon tela ane cheton nga so yota shala ro chinze te chayo mare ane je chinze che gore zara je sa chim ro chinze gune le kalen ndu mare zane yota cheton tinde salu ton sa chi yores ena yos yo ro chinze yo bitone su sa chimbu tsibitone yo je la pento dawa ton je la ne ton ja chimbu da yo Tikoleo saluton samanda Zimbabwe yores.
Nika digere.
Saluton tote tombo jen le pento cheta jen ge cheta zane saluton cheta. Ane susu sa chimbo tsene susu nyeji chimbo jego to jonshi sa jego to trene. The teat karazena susu cheta raz. Ina nyeji chimbo je jonshi sa chetende jeo lekacheo de jen ge cheta raz.
So nika digirwa.
Nika digires. Ina ro chinze zade ro chito susu kona chede yena digmares. Na ro chinze chito shena susu lope jena pe nika le pento otinde yores.
I mean, in general, we speak about, we should let go of the self-cherishing attitude and work for the benefit of others. However, if we engage in beneficial activities for others, if you want to benefit others, but at the same time still have that, little kind of self-grasping attitude there, it's still good to work for the benefit of others, although we still have that self-cherishing attitude. We should, we should engage in beneficial actions for, in a sense, for one's own sake to, achieve enlightenment and so forth. But, and then when we develop compassion and bodhicitta, it is for the sake of others. So, I mean, what I'm saying is that, it's okay to, when we still have that cherishing attitude, and then, work for the benefit of others. But it's not okay just to be so selfish to basically forget about others, not help others in any ways.
Pena amachelo pugu mombo suwa yoache amati mena pugu tiso shenroache ra tendete amati kes ne susu sonkya yapu che koras ra amati susu sa chimo nga sa chimo nga kala yapu za nga sha yo mare mato kras nga shizona ne pugu tsoma mugu shenro koras deche ta ama susu sonkya che ne sa chimo tsene yapu tsu susu ama yapu tsu to zona jipugu tsoma za anto kanga meba tendiki tendio tidon rabu salu tonga yores.
I mean, you can't think of it like this.
And the rochinze zachura.
Yeah, we can think of it like this. To give an example, we can think of a mother, with 10 children to look after. And the mother, in order to be able to look after her children, she needs to take care of herself too, right? She needs to, eat good food and, and all of this, to take care of her health and so forth. Because if she's in bad health or he dies early because of whatnot, then the children would be in trouble. They would starve and so forth, and they would have nobody to look after. And that's kind of like an example you can think of, this self-cherishing attitude in a sense. But it's okay to still have that if we keep others in mind and work for others' benefit. Like the mother looking after her children, she has to first of all take care of herself too.
Yo, rochinze za tela, salu ton samanda mombo yores. Pena, roni konas chinze zene kajika roni kona susu konas chinze chalo guba yores. Kasi pena susa chimbo che shanandrigu mares ra ne nga maomba chupu che gore ne penjo chimbo dogore tindi chena ndindu yores ena kwasa tindi machana nga zambole kono ani chala zoa to yama khala za ndandro la sopa mombuji gora namdro ndro to teso soma ati zonke ji gore ze teso kar che yores na gyakato susu gyakasa chimbo se ne penjo yoji to tindi chene tindi yores yana chotoro chinzete kyogu chane ndru marezene roni chibu chadan ndru marezene nonchunu tindi shega yorete yana yo tindi leka danka mesona penjo dra to pecha dra susu chetindi danka mesona asun zawle tingol metezon sutoba kabures jinka munke da ane tananga so mota zunke da ane ta memba to tetso mobu yora teso mena 드마레스 고조가 젠바존케 카르 수수젠가 수수 카소이 체다 멤바티소 아니 모라존가 수수 총게 체다레스 수수 체다레데 예나티소 용고아 체라마토 마초 잠발레 팅골은 수투고 마레스 멤바 메 젠카 땅게 메틴디체데 아솔 강가 데게레스
I mean, from the Buddhist point of view, is we can talk about like this, but we can also bring forth the argument that the world wouldn't be able to function if there were no people who would build planes or take care of fields to grow things, and usually the people's attitude is for their own benefit, right? To make good business, to be successful in their business, and it's for their own sake. But at the end of the day, it's people in the world, we benefit from people doing business, building planes that we can travel and have food to eat, because people are doing business by cultivating fields and so forth.
ne tanda dewa thamatela ar namji kar salu tongo yo la na penam sauri majimba chi cho ya pura chi la ra nga gagra ne sauri majimba ngal me pa ton tere nga kontro zagra tete nga salu kar tongo ya nga ya pura la so na ko nga ya pura la cha chi nga ya pu cha gndo e tan yo majimba chi nga dichare ze nga dicha cha gndo e kogo dichare la cha nga dicha cha gndo to nga nemano je ronjares majimba chi nga chon khepare 저 야보래라 때가 개파 작은데 야보 렌도에 수수살로 동한테 근데 살로 동나 마짐바케니 저 야보래잖아 하죠 가마이 마짐바케 저 대차래라나 하죠 삼파 콘도자 저라 근데 뭐와라 근데 펜도요레스 저 대차래잖아 고가 대차래라서 수살로 고가 대차래라서 얘나가 대차 작은데에서 나는 여안 죽은데에서 살로 자사도때 야치 안도 말했어. 저 야보래라나 대차래라나 나 론이 론자레스 내마금에 다로라마도 그거 또 봤더나 야치린도 메바레잖아 초린도 대요 말했어. 대내를 살로몬부지 tonto나 네 컨트롤에서 디즈니어리 로알 펜토요레스.
And again, something to add to the third question. That was the question about praise and blame. We can think that if someone praises us, or says that, oh, how greatly skilled we are and whatnot, does it really make us so? If others think and see us and praise us to be such a great expert, for example, do we really become such a great expert? And likewise, if others blame us, accuse us of something, does it change us in any way? No, we are the same. So in that sense, we can, think about these things and then have a bit more sense of equanimity, not getting overly upset or excited in either way. Do you normally think in this way?
In the way of that doesn't change anything.
Yeah, that we have that that we don't get angry if someone accuses us, or that we don't feel
I would love
great.
to try. I try my best. I would love to.
그래 딘디 가서 갈래 람바 전에 감바 동번이 봐 보내 딘디 시작도나 네 수수 스토렘버 콘도 잡으면 바차다 네 가져 잡으면 바차라 펜토요래 얘나 하브티리카 또 말해서 페나 미치 닝골라 기바스 셔잖아 나 콘도자 파타네 콜라 지부체레스 얘나요 콘도도 마제데 사울로 톤데 오 타초요 말해서 라 딘디 람바체네 사울로 톤도 그래서 아또 콘도자 니카스 카테딘디 사울로 톤도아데 냐올레 센tum부터 소마도 또 말해서 얘나 가서뭐 바바 카트 사울로 톤마토네 디젤라 칼레 헬라차데 사울로톤 다기멘데 그가 디차레라서 띵가 디차 찬도에 문도 수고 강자타고 사울로 톤나 네 콘젤라서 메바차로 펜토요레스.
Yeah, for us ordinary beings, it's rather difficult to have that, balanced attitude. And also when if someone hits me on the head, of course, I immediately react with anger. But then, after the situation has happened, we can, think about it, relax in a meditative way. And then gradually, we can, have a bit more sense of balance. We won't get overly proud if someone praises us, nor depressed or angry if someone, accuses us or hits us on the head. But to do that on the spot is rather difficult for us ordinary beings. Only high practitioners are able to do that, but we usually can't.
네.
Can I ask? I think for me personally, I feel like it does have an impact, especially if it comes before, or for example, I'm about to cook something, and I'm cooking for other people also. Maybe somebody comes and tells me, "Oh, you're such a great cook. I look so much forward to eating your food. So I will cook even better." But if somebody comes and says, "You are cooking again. I don't like your food," and really your food will come out worse. And I think also in general, more we receive praise, we are better people. And the more blame, you are a bad person, you actually will act better. So is there a way of then being equanimous even?
Così che sono per chashana con kala zoya zo shin kase zoya digiduna mishemba labna kang kala pe shimbu chagesare tene dilatene con kala dilishawa zo tukyo sare ine yang con kala zo shimbi kapsu zo bikapsu mishemba kang kala gawme chimusha sawane yomare labna con sem dispamgidun dilatene kala ya vo me pachage sare shitsang con chietangi mishemba susu la tura tangna da pengere mera tangna di lika ducha du distua chagere shitsang di tap yorbe di tangyom desmawa tangyom jo
tanya cha tammi cho mochishate cho yabore cho ne kalajim buzugre zati ko kalazwal kanga yomare montene kalazwan besi chegres ne cho kalaz jimbo mundo tindelana mombojiga tene tongchene kalazoni dromares te karare zati te pashote la rali mares su salo tone ya konga kalazu jambondolana nga yarin drogunde ngi kalajari chang ngunene chag mares chuba chikchores chorog nanji namonyo ja ta samonyo ja soma chuba chikchores yena choro sal karare zane su nga zat tona gato mena magag kaunshi de shikchimbo yoso tilatene choro lekati torshin yores lekati yabu chago yomares mato ngune chena ko yapure cho dechara karlana malana choro ko naujam namonyo ko cheto chamonyo ko chemato chiba chichores yenayo choro tobato mebato su sauna ye gawato druame bichane ne lekati torshin yoram hakozo
Geshe thinks that it's probably it doesn't really depend so much on what the other person says. It's really mainly the way you think, this feeling, well, when someone praises your cooking and the opposite.
But
yeah, you would probably do the same thing. You would not really change anything in your cooking, regardless of what the other people say. It's a lot to do with your way of thinking. Susugi samlok tana
samlok so ashi chimboyo majemba ka karashegando tobato maraton tel tsawachi chimboyo na ane susu gato maka sancho yores choro tel tono machana choro chibares chokala jembo zugundola na da jembo zugumundo na da choro chamonyo to namonyo chamongo to chibachi chores
yeah Geshe says that probably you would never regardless of what people say you would still put the same amount of salt in the food, for example, or the same amount of oil, but it's the way you react to or think about what the other person said.
Nayo tobato mepala gani tsawashi chimbo ongi ane baki yo tinjo andu gres samsala saumade kontroza nansan kontroza kizaki tsama zoa yo maramato tsama tsundu gres tsama mel tsundu gres
but it can be that, say, for example, that because your reaction, your thinking is different, depending on the feedback you get. And that, say, for example, if you are then in an angry state, that if you prepare some veggies, they might, burn or whatever, get burned just because of your anger that arises. Yeah.
Yon sansare no achitane yo tsema chazu cholo shiyang ka yore. Na higa hamokone tanda sha tsema ngone degres. Makashi yo no achitane. No samba chitane, no achiboyo.
Nawa kiba
samba chitane. Jinra to no achitane tsema le chone samaten cha no achitane yo tsema tata chagmores. No achitane kashi tsamong jare tsayun jare. Ne tsema tsunro tsema ngosani cholo turn to gorepa no chita tsemazo yo maramoto yo golo sigres.
But likewise, if you're overly excited, if you're overly happy, you might not pay full attention to what you're actually doing. Then also you make mistakes in your cooking. That can also happen.
Ekashik tsema no achine jeto tsema zuki chile jembachi lesson nataki tsalu so as a tratinke yores.
Oh yeah, you might get distracted or overly excited and chat with someone away, and then you forget about having put salt in the food or not.
In leka karchena leka tel sam tata te ne jink tobato mepala shirato no machena ne leka tata yongres.
But if you applies to any action, if you don't pay too much attention to what others say, if you just keep focused on your task, whatever you're doing, then it will turn out well.
Ane joa tombo tel rashes chana ane tar laru nengutsu ayel.
Alias, did you have
Yes, related to what he asked, I was gonna just my personal experience that it's very hard to focus on doing things out of love when I'm maybe receiving negativity or hatred. So yeah, I know it's, I guess, a kind of attachment to the self or looking for that approval, but it's hard, no? Because it's you're trying to do something out of love, but you are not surrounded by that love, maybe, so it's hard.
Sometimes tiwa mare Mexican. Kung susurang la duchak la tene kesi year la mikashi da dis tiktukcha la kyo na yang karina tene mishemba tsewa togne pentokchia dis kali kapo yore segido.
Tate mi mombolo susu ndo cha cha chimbochi ene me jembala ne tonchonda kondoza tende mi mombolo lega yores. Yena ka tetila nga cha chimbo tsugopi gense karare ngara karchene sa chimbo tsugoresane susu nga za kate tato nga za te kanto zen salu tona pento yores nga cha chimbo tsugorese nga za te kanto ne kaso ngema nga lautsena chikshe chayela nga za te kanto susu zupul tse zupu chomal tsene zupu cholola patse nga nanjila dere nga te kawando zen tikol salu tona jela kontro za tone dosha kiate so nyori ndugores
Dagas susurang da nga kaba dumin
ta kontro
dila tene kontro da ndo chala so nyuru
ngat tsene ngat kandu ze ngat sa chimbo sera kasunga la tsenga matrikaza te mombo shegele ina tikol tatare mombo mobachi nga kandu lane su tseche sitona ne pento yogres.
But yeah, that applies to many people then, out of this attachment or self-grasping attitude. But Geshe says he talked about this in the past classes also, that as a method to counteract this, the self-grasping, and then thereby counteracting or diminishing the anger, attachment, and so forth. You can investigate where the self might be. You can investigate whether it's in the body or outside of the body and so forth. But I've shared about this or explained about this in the past classes.
Tatikola ane kasansa jene samba tene lola salutona ne su chawachi le ayores. Ti yoyo jedene county chena ne hakogres. Tatindi salutona. Ti zenga to me mombono ti salutona peng mares. Tele chene su chibo de tene tindi chene salu mombo tona ne jima katena ti salu khorde la ayores. Ato me mombo tombo le tombo ataso ne zen cha sabodo tindi no le chene yong mares. Su tele dene salutona ne jima yoyo kancha sona kate salutona saluton shoshores.
Yeah, as a beginner, it's good to find a quiet place to, outside of a busy situation with other people and noises, have a quiet place, and then slowly, gently reflect, and then we create a habit, and then we can think about these things quietly and in a relaxed manner, and then eventually we'll be able to, investigate these things in any also more busy situations. But in the beginning, it's good to have a quiet place, quiet space by yourself, and then reflect on these things.
Neta tua tombo ko lete ne jima sha chita mogo tisem ra la ngone sha yela.
As we don't have so much time, I want to share about the Lamrim. So a little bit more.
Sansalanga kecha mombo shene matsoma lots of zoa pajas.
Sometimes I talk so much, or I talk a lot, then you don't have so much time to look into the text itself.
Anita kan the laurel chiwani to tembi chu la nyeshe chata chawala sounds ne chiwani jindoa. Chiwani take konla tini. Chu kon temba tembi chata zababu cha temba danga la kipa kibi chata chu cha temba chiwani de teche.
So anyway, in this I don't know if that was sent around this on page 3 of the essence, what is it? The essence of the stages of the path. The E version. It's on page 3. It gives a little outline where it says there are 4 parts to the stages of the path to enlightenment, and the first 2 is showing the greatness of the author, to show the authenticity of the teaching, and then second, showing the greatness of the teaching to generate respect for the instructions. And then continuing, skipping a few pages on to page 11, where then the Julanyan, the Shotangye, okay. There it says, or it gives an explanation on how to listen to and explain the teachings, which possess 2 attributes of greatness.
Ta sambateneshen chunyebi chongula nis ta ngazu chunyebi because nyeto karerezene rambat shete chunyala no chi chonsa zat ponkores and in the shi true that tenkores.
So here the first part is how to listen to the teachings. And di nangne karere?
No chi chonsa ponwa. The shi true temba.
Where did I see that? Oh yeah. Further below on page 11, and then it's about the actual way of listening to the teachings, which has 2 parts: abandoning the 3 faults of the vessel and adhering to the 6 attitudes.
Ne no chi chonsa zat karerezena no kababa no timache no jadaroa. Agi no kababa zati no chinrajena ti khachmajana ne tino chulun zegmara. Tene no timache zati no tinola ne timamaso atendiyona ti yabachamara. No kadro jadazane no ti ekoyona ol chudegmaras.
Yes.
No chichosan zati.
Yeah, so that's an illustration of how the student, listening to the teachings should be. And as an example, like a cup, say, or vessel is given in the text. And the first one, Geshe said it's a cup, a vessel that is, with a lid on. Or in the text also we find the example of, vessel that is turned upside down. That's one. You should not be like this. That's one of these 3 faults that we should abandon. And then the second one would be a dirty vessel. And then the third one, a vessel with a hole in it.
Nepina no kababazana. Nacho chushesal soma le zubut chushesa leaje. Ne sambat chushesa madea cholo yedena. Pentog maris. Tela no kababaza pitujeres.
Yeah, so just like if you have a vessel with a lid on, or a vessel that's upside down, no liquid can flow into it. And likewise, even if the student comes to attend, physically and comes to the teachings, sits here, but is mentally distracted and thinks about all sorts of other things, then it's the same. Just like the water, say, can't enter the vessel. Likewise, the Dharma cannot enter really the mind stream of the student.
Ane no timache zati, ane chushesa yone samba 나와가네 추셔발 녀나요 수수 맨년케데 그 개노 좀 마시면서 로타지아도네 딘디체소나 아니요 추대 야부 차고 말했어 너 마치다 그랬어
And then the second fault that we should, abandon is like a vessel that is dirty cup, and that's when say the student come, even though they come to the teachings and listen, but then they have a negative intention or create wrong views, then also there's not so much benefit of listening to the teaching.
Ne somebody no je dawazat ne chusha sale yabu nye gelo yabu yona yons de la tensitene solo temba no yabu manyana ma cholon du sa de temba jesona yo pento yo mares no no chulune no all ikotat chibares.
And then the third fault is like a vessel that has a hole in the bottom. However much water we put into it, it will flow out. It will not, cannot be retained. And likewise, even if the student comes to the teachings and listens, but if and has a good motivation, but if the person then just forgets about it, doesn't retain what they've heard, then also there's limited benefit or no benefit.
Laura no mombo shege chunyeto de mombo shege yores the Laura zama tsa ketone cha karchena kesha karnye chujisayana de ka karchena de santo yot keshimbores.
So here, of course, we talk in the context of the Lamrim of the teachings in general, but actually, these qualities or the faults that we should abandon, they apply to any action. Really, in general, not necessarily only to listening to the Dharma.
Laura no lati kechimbo shunyal tindu gore sheyora. The Laura man ajembasa yonte shicha karjondu nanda ra jembasa ne laut karjondu nanda. The yo go at kechimbo.
Oh yeah, or any studies we go about. I mean, in general, it's good to be free of these so-called faults.
Luza nandona te yo nye mares.
Same, you in Lutza was you study you. Yeah, same.
Ane tanipan deshi truth and baza ane tikal tires nibate.
And then the next point is adhering to the 6 attitudes.
Ane chunyen kete kar gorezana rola nebata vandeshi gores. Susu nebata vandeshi gores.
So then the first of these 6 attitudes that a student should have is to see themselves as a patient, as a sick person.
And
they should also regard the person teaching as a doctor.
And the teachings
that, or the teaching that is being taught about, they should see as medicine.
Ne tanda chusenge ke she nyenke ke nya tindi chonsona tanda net aso pena neba chena ne suzu neba de yerembo chwa mas shimondo ak taushi toara tintoala memba kala nya to tito meza noje chutya lo tindi solu tonkores.
So just like a patient, suffering from an illness, they of course want to get well again, so they seek a skilled doctor and would listen to their advice and likewise take the respective medicine that they got prescribed, right, to get well again.
Ne tije shabache tam sonje la so patela sonje ton yote che ton chonje sabate zola ane yichi ton teso jeu tambare zane kenlo kores tano kores
sangi dang
chonje sabala jeu tambala so zola tano che kores tano zane tano akosa te che kores takata sanatana.
Yeah. So and then also they should consider the enlightened, the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas, all these superior beings. They should have pure perception. Consider them highly.
Ne ta tomboro la ne bata vande shiche gozan. Karchene ne bata vande shiche gore launa Rola Jerembo, Sokavi, Dima Tobone, Chosonyomo Totna, and the Payment. Pena Susu Nebata, Pena Susu Nasa de Chachina, Yerembo, Na, Jerembo Nara, Nasa Nani Tomato, Tiki, e Carcerazana, Membaltera, Membala Tene, and the Tragua is also Tim Nebat. Tasusu Neban Jerembo, Na, then the Demonyoa thing as Pires. Niptonla Carrazan, Susu Jula, Docha do country, Numo Mombu, Jerembo, Giangaba Kilankachina, Giangama Mombu, and Mayoat, Giangaba Kemalana, Sintala Salutan, Docha do country, Nasu Nerne, Naturally, Dingaton Taylor, Chibu, Nonchio Mares, Team Begins second, never tavan the Shijako. Tombo never tavan the Shiko Chigo Lara, never tavan the Shiko Begins a Carrazana. Susu Nebataka, Jerembo, Pena Nankachina, Padumum, Bonatin de Kango, Noa Yora, Tinoje, and Susu Tandangaso, Chola Saluton, Nomotusa, Jerembo, Nani, Dojaji to control to Nani, Maso Divan Techigares, Tito Nepa, Pijares, Nomotusa, name Pijares.
Yeah. Yeah. So the reason why we should or the student should think of themselves as a patient, as a suffering from an illness, is basically an example that illustrates that we, if we accept past lives, that we from time without beginning, or even just only this life, that we have been influenced by all these different afflictions, attachment, anger, and so forth. For a long time, and therefore, I seek, as it were, influenced in a negative way by the afflictions.
Ne chushenkela member taban the shichigores. The carchen member taban the shichigores, and Suzu Nasa Dicha in Natin the Chayote, Pagi membership member ten, member Kipare. Nemombo Chusara and member Naso Tendiji Tena, and Gagra, or Tinoje, and it's a Yomotusa, Jeon Janet in the Lattes, the Yomotusa, and a Kieto Tender, and Yomotusa, Mebacheto Tendires, and Tendishenke, Chushenke Gerasona, Asugachiras, Tito Chubares.
And just like a patient, who has been suffering from an illness for a long time, meets then with a skilled doctor who's able to cure him from that illness, just likewise we should be happy and then to have met a teacher who can explain us or give us the Dharma teachings so that we can recover, as it were, eliminate the afflictions and so forth.
And bagi chula yichi che and chushenke la yichi che atindi chene ko chushenke ga sha noje suzu ko nyenke ga nye Nicha Ganyanta Chugono Soanoje Saulo Yapo Dona and Membak me Nepak ne me Yapuzan Netra Noje Aso Somalane Chibuyoatone Tabatatone Dingamanjoak Tashiores.
Kasa Chula Gabuchi
Pena Chunyanke Jura Chunyanke de Chuyapu Nye Shenke Xian Noje Nyala Yapuche or Tindichena. And Membaki Nepala Mestra Nebak Meza Noje Nebatondura, Tinoje, as a Chushenke Shia Noje, Yanke Yapuni, Nomotusa to Machi Talakaris and at the Solo Yaputona, Numo Tusa to Shichorin Joato.
Yeah.
This will teach you more in Joak and Chabayores.
And just like a patient, then, would go to the doctor and receive his advice and take the medicine. In order to overcome their illness, just like that, a student then has that attitude to attentively listen to the teachings and to put the teachings into practice to eventually achieve happiness and eliminate all these afflictions.
Ne tagesha tereza ngaso chunya to chushenke ke sha to nyenke ke nya jajora ti kortoma so jenda sondro Shiati, Nyat Kale Kapundu, Tendite Mata Chitinya, the Copento do, Tenny, Tendisolutona, Kaleo Maramot, shenke ko kalendo tene shen nyenke ko kalendo tene nyena ane kale chimboras timayin ba pena jinsha ta ke suzu ga sa jinsha ta na kanga me no je jolo kobu ko no je mayin ba jinsha anjo to kilango je so ta na kale me ba jin to otino je chagres.
Yeah, so basically if you have a positive attitude, I mean from the teacher side and also from the student side, then we'll all be kind of light, as if we were to just wear some ornaments. It will be pleasant in a sense and not like a burden. We shouldn't have a feeling, oh, it's all difficult from either side, the teacher side or the student side. We shouldn't have the feeling that's a big burden, that carrying like a heavy load on our back. But rather, have that more, spacious and positive attitude, that it feels like wearing ornaments. So.
Anita, gone. She said,
"Yeah, no, time is already up."
Ni tiwa yona tanda tenen, tiwa mena asu te ra, sausha.